Hello, and thank you so much for listening to Urbanistica podcast. So if you were following me on Instagram last week, I attended Urban Future Global Conference, and it's a big conference here about cities. And if you want to know more about the conference, you can listen to my episode with the co-founder Gerald. Super cool episode as well. We laughed a lot. So in this conference, I was a media partner for the Urban Future, and during 3 days here in Helsingborg city in the south of Sweden, I did a podcast with 7 of their speakers, very inspiring speakers as well. So I will give you a highlight, and you will I hope you will listen to the episode in the coming weeks. So the coming weeks will be about episode from Urban Future Global Conference. So the 7 episodes gonna be about, the first one is with Fermín. He's the director of innovation in Valencia. And we talked about like the innovation cities and compare Europe to the US, when the US had a goal to put a man on the moon, and what does it mean to cities. Very interesting, actually. Then I interviewed Carlo Ratti. He's the director of MIT Senseable Lab in Italy. And we talked about artificial intelligence, future cities, and the safety in our cities, and how actually do we program machine the AI. Then I talked with the very famous urban planner, Lior from Netherlands. We talked about active mobility. We talked about his new book for children. I really love this episode. I did a podcast with Elisabeth Meze, and she's from Austria. We talked about climate-friendly buildings, like the building with different certifications, but also we talked about people with different certifications. So it's a match between, let's say, green buildings and green people. It was a very interesting way of thinking. So I really recommend you to listen to this episode. And then I talked with Santiago Rocha from Colombia. And this was a very deep and inspiring episode, because we talked a lot about like how to make city more resilient. And also we talked about Medellin, the city in Colombia. It was one of like absolutely top or most dangerous cities on this planet, and how the city together with the community transformed the city to make it one of the safer or safest city on this planet. Very interesting episode. I really recommend you to listen to. And also I think this was one of my first episode with the urbanist from South America. So hopefully in the coming seasons I will do more. And then I did the podcast with Daniel from Mercedes-Benz. And we talked about cities, future mobilities, and from Mercedes-Benz point of view. I asked him if our city centers or our cities will be car-free or not. And the answer was shocked. I was shocked by the answer. So yeah, one more episode to listen to. And finishing with an episode from Australia with Nicholas. He's the co-founder of Orange Sky. And Orange Sky is about like the vans that going around in the city and washing clothes. Very inspiring. I really recommend you to listen to all these episodes, and thank you so much in advance for giving your time to listen to the podcast. Don't forget, put a 5-star if you're listening from Spotify, leave a comment, and keep up the good work. Keep loving cities. One more thing that I want to mention is actually I changed the name of the podcast from Urbanistica Podcast to Urbanistica Podcast Cities for People. Yes. So enjoy your time listening to the podcast.